Welcome back to the Creative Saints podcast. I'm Victoria.
And I'm Josh.
And let's get into it. There's not really anything to intro. I feel like banter for banter's sake is
sometimes it's there, and sometimes the day has been like very full.
So full.
A lot of move from this to this to this to this to this, which is incredible for accomplishing. But my brain really isn't in that, hey, how's the weather?
Yeah, I
don't do that well anyways.
Right. And so 5 minutes ago, before recording, we were already in a really intense business conversation. So my brain just wants to go like, all right, this is just an extension of that.
It does feel like
I
that.
want to like welcome you guys and like bring you along and talk about our day and like our life. But like I don't, because let's just get into it. We've already been working all day.
I think we've already been working all day. It's not warm and welcoming and friendly today. It's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And welcome to the topic of...
Oh my gosh.
How to be unoffendable.
Unoffendable.
Does that word just make you uncomfortable?
I actually remember the first time I ever heard someone tell me that.
Yeah?
Yes. And we can dig into that in a bit. Yeah, this is a really interesting one for people who, for their living, have to take critique, right?
We all kind of take critique for a living.
Sure.
But some careers, paths, more than others. If you're creative, welcome. Welcome to a life of... You
couldn't tell by the title, that's what this is about, but welcome to a life of critique.
So being critiqued, but how do you keep showing up? How do you push past it? We're being funny. Like, once you kind of digest this and you're like in the right headspace, you're able to communicate with people in a way, like this becomes part of the routine and it's not degrading to you or any of those things.
And I think that it is important, right? Like what you were saying, like how do you push past it? How do you keep leading well? How do you keep serving well? Like not letting things take root. And I think this is an important conversation because we have met with, worked with, led with, whatever, like people that they do lead from a place of being offended.
Oh, 100%.
Their guard is up and they're not going to let you in.
Right.
And that's how they run their business. That's how they communicate with their clients. That's
exactly. I was about to say.
This is that conversation, right? Like that's not healthy. It's not. You're not going to grow well. You're not going to communicate well.
It's not a nurturing environment.
It's not.
When someone is living in a place of being offended, they are going to communicate offensively because that's their natural state. Do you, like you said, we could dig into something in a minute, but do you remember like a story of like...
I was just going to ask you the same thing. Do you have a time where like someone critiqued your work and you took it really personal?
I mean, it's really just kind of a constant state for me because I get people who see my work and say something. People comment on Instagram and say something. People don't like a quote or an estimate, or I send concepts. So it's just kind of part of my...
Part of the course.
So I was trying to think of like a specific story or time that was like stood out more than the other. And so that's why I thought I would ask you, because
one thing I can think of is we spent a lot of time with a client that I guess I didn't get offended, but like I was kind of hurt actually and like sad. We were building this massive website. It was pages upon pages upon pages for every single thing that they had. They wanted a web page for it. They wanted embedded documents for it. Like all these things. And so we got done finally. This was months and months and months of work. Get done. And like a few months later I go and I'm like, all right, let's see, because they were going to maintain it themselves. And I go and I'm like, it's like the same. It's like they just went back to their original thing. What the heck? Like, thanks for paying for it, I guess. But like, why?
But
why did I just put all that work in?
Wait,
and like,
mouth me. Who was that?
I'm not good.
You can mouth me. They can't see anything right now.
I'll just say it and then I'll edit it out.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it just makes you feel like you wasted your time. I can't use that on my portfolio now. I can't. So it would have been really easy to get offended. I mean, at that point they were gone. So like, what was I going to do? Email them and ask why they weren't using it. But Offense, you can let those things take root really easily and like get down on yourself, and was it not good enough, and was I not good enough, and all those things. So
When we started, I lived in a state of being offended because didn't realize that what we do is take critique for a living.
well, and now, how long have you been saying that to people? Like, I take critique for a living. You can't offend me.
I kind of like, that's become my mantra of
Yeah.
I'm not offendable because if you don't tell me, I can't. And we've talked
And
about that a lot. So
Yeah. I just think it's important because if you're someone, a creative, no matter what field you're in, if you want to grow, you're going to need feedback, and you're going to be able to, you're going to need to be able to take it, learn from it, grow from it. But as a person who like wants to have friends and be nice and like live a peaceful life, you have to also learn how to guard your heart.
Right.
And that, I think, is the key to being unoffendable.
Are you saying balance? Plays a factor in a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't just want to have thick skin for the sake of thick skin.
Yeah.
And I think that can make you hardened. That can make you abrasive.
Well, I think that's a good point. Thick skin is just that. It's becoming calloused, and you stay in an offended place, but you know how to take it and you internalize it. It never goes anywhere, and you just become more and more shut off from the world. Whereas if you understand, especially in the creative world, that what you're creating is very personal, and you're putting your time and your effort and your heart and your soul into what you're doing.
Yeah.
When you put that out there and someone critiques it, it is so easy to be offended because you're like, this is
my heart on my sleeve.
This is
like,
dope.
Yeah.
But when that person doesn't think it's dope, I just had a whole concept that I sent to someone out of like all the research I did. And they were like, I don't like any of that.
And I think that's important to know. How many years into this are we? I would very much consider us to be professionals in this area. And
people pay us multiple thousands of dollars to do this and trust us because of what they've seen. But this person said, I mean, it's fine, but that's not what I want.
Yeah.
And I don't actually understand this, and I don't want to be associated with that. Why did you? So 7 years in, you have to understand this is part of the process of going through and building. You're a person, but that person communicating to you is not communicating to you. They're communicating to your business. And your business, you can't put so much emotion into that. Right. You can't just live in that. Your business is your face because your name's on the business, or you're the owner or whatever. So it's part of it.
Yeah. I think it's important to talk about, though, like, as a person that considers himself creative, most of the time, those people are deep feelers.
Yeah.
Like very emotive in one way or another, for better, for worse, like all of the things. And just feel so deeply and are able then to take that emotion, that God-given emotion, right? Like God places emotions in us to be able to process things. And so I think that it's important to know that, like, okay, I'm feeling this way because God created me to feel this way, but then what do I do with this feeling?
Right.
And yes, like the reason you're able to create well or to do your job well is because you're creating from such a deep well. You're really taking it in and like putting thought and heart and
creating from a deep well. That's
like, but that's what it feels like sometimes, is like I literally have to dig down inside of myself, take all of my God-given gifts and talents and processes and create from that place.
Yeah.
Maybe they only gave you a name. Maybe they gave you a concept. Maybe they gave you a Pinterest board inspiration, and you have to go, all right, hold on, let me like stitch all of this together and then give you something that you're looking for.
Right.
But that comes from such a deep feeling place, and if you're thick-skinned and you don't allow yourself to feel also, like, you may not be creating from the depths, which is really, I think, where the best art comes from. Is just
Right.
like that deep within, like understanding, taking it into yourself, and then like outputting from there.
But there's, I think, that depth there that as creatives, creators, whatever, we put out there and we feel deep. These people that are running a business or an organization, whatever, their heart and soul is in that, and their money and heart are in that, and you're being entrusted with that. And so there's emotions on both sides. And I think you have to figure out how to balance those in hearing the right things, listening, becoming a better listener helps with.
Yeah. And when you're putting stuff out, I mean, I don't know how you felt about this last project that you did, but these things, when you're like, I'm taking the time to sit down and sketch something out from, wherever in my soul, it becomes an extension of you if you let it, right? I know you don't feel that way about everything that you work on, but like once you've created something and go, oh, okay, my hands drew this, right?
Most branding projects are very emotionally tied.
Yeah, and it's such an extension of you as a creative, which is why they hired you in the first place, or why they contacted you. They liked your work, which is an extension of you, right? So for someone to critique that, to not like it, feels like it can feel like a personal attack.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, you're creating from a place of lived experience, right?
Right.
Everything that you've gone through, past projects, all of these things are informing your decisions for what you're making.
Right.
And yeah, you could just think that it's like the best thing based on your lived experience.
Right.
And then they don't like it based on their lived experience. And it's just...
But there's a lot of human psychology that goes into that of, and I've said this before and I'll say it a million more times, I'm sure, but that staying up till 2 a.m. creating, and it's like, wow, that was, you go to bed, you close the laptop, you're like, that's banging. That is just incredible. And you get up the next morning, drink a cup of coffee, open the laptop, and you're like, holy crap, what is that?
Right.
That's so understanding that
2
we
a.m.
can
designing is a whole nother world. You're on a different playing field.
Don't do that anymore. I've gotten up more at 6 a.m. to design than I do 2 a.m. anymore. But that right there was a good lesson for me in realizing that I can see the same thing 12 hours apart in two different mental states. Not mental state, you know what I mean? You had another human perspective in there. They get to interpret that how they interpret that. So
and did they drink coffee or Mountain Dew this morning? You don't know.
Mountain Dew? Who drinks Mountain Dew in the morning?
I'm just saying.
I know.
Where did they come from? Did they come from a crazy kid's drop-off line? Did they, are they coming in cool, calm,
you don't know how you're
you have no
catching
idea.
them.
Yeah. And I think that because it can all feel so personal and internal and all of that, it's good to remember that like the business aspect of this is public.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever you're creating for them is going to be public. It's not always personal. It's business. Sorry, Godfather.
It's not you. It's me.
That was from The Godfather. Thank you very much. But critique is part of the package. When you've decided and determined that this is what you want to do, and this is the kind of work that you want to be involved in, it's part of the package. And I would say, if you work a corporate job or have a job with a boss over you, critique is part of the package. Like it or not, if you are an employee of anyone, it's part of it. And you're going to have to learn how to deal with that and not be reactive. I think the conflict then is like, how do I stay open and emotive and like wear my heart on my sleeve so that I can create from that place.
Right.
And also not take that critique into my spirit, into my soul, and let it change who I am as a creative. I don't want it to change. I don't want to not design something now based on someone saying they didn't like it.
Right.
Because if that person doesn't like it, somebody else might. And that happens all the time.
So staying in a healthy place, the thing that I have found, and I have always prided myself on turnaround time, but being able to turn around in a healthy time that still has thought and that has depth to it is getting it out fast, being faster than other designers, but how fast can I do it and it still be effective? Something I started implementing, and hopefully these things are helpful for designers and different people, creatives in general, but I started holding it. So when I'm done with something, I will design something, but before I send it off, I hold it. When I'm like, that's the final product, I hold it for 4 hours, 2 hours, 24 hours, whatever it is, and I review it one more time before I send it off.
Yeah.
And as I'm doing that, something I've noticed in that time is, okay, I'm putting this out there and their critique is fine. The revisions, it's fine. However they react is how they react.
Yeah.
I've had time to let it go. That kind of sounds stupid, but it gives me time to not be so, I did that, it's awesome, I sent it, and I want that email response right away.
That makes sense. Now it's just another project on the docket.
Yeah. It's, okay, I have gone with it. I've sat with it. I've worked through it. I've reviewed it. Okay, now I sat with it a little bit longer, and now I'm releasing it. And once you release it, you have to release it. You cannot hold ties to it. You can think, man, that is just freaking dope. I love that. It's amazing. But that doesn't mean that that's it. That doesn't mean that's the thing for that person, that organization, whatever. So,
well, and I think that being unoffendable isn't about just being numb to critique. I think it is more about being grounded in who you are and what you're capable of. Okay,
right.
I know that I'm a good designer. So if they don't like this one, we will eventually get to a place where they do like it. Right? I'm grounded in the fact that this is what I do. This is what I'm called to. This is who I am and who God made me. Like, so whatever that thing is that you do, maybe it's songwriting, maybe, you know, whatever it is, I know I am grounded in this. I am grounded in who I am.
Right.
I'm not numb to critique. But
I know that's part of the package.
I'm going to know when to let it change me, inform me, and when not to. Yeah.
An interesting thing is not being numb in relating, just thinking about the emotions you have from someone filling out a form submission to the first conversation to they say, yes, let's go forward. You send an invoice, they pay, they critique you. You have to find a balance there of, I'm excited when they critique me, the same as when they pay me or when they inquire.
Because it's just another part of the process.
It's part of the process. Yeah. You have to find happiness. And if your purpose is to be a designer, we keep saying designer because that's how we make our money.
Yeah.
But when someone hires you as a creative, you need to be just as excited at the inquiry and the critique and the finish and the middle, the beginning. You need to find I enjoy doing this. You're going to take on projects that are just for the money, just income boosters. Like that's fine, but don't be passive in what you do. If you don't love doing at each of those steps, consider what you're doing because you won't find a place of not being offended.
Yeah.
You won't find a place of peace. Yeah,
that's good. I think that just goes right back into that thick skin thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I think maybe our, I almost said trauma response. I feel like that is not what I meant to say at all. But like our response to critique is to let it bounce off of us, right? I'm rubber, you're glue. We learned it when we were kids. Yeah. You cannot offend me because it's just gonna bounce off. Have you watched The
Sandlot lately?
I have. That's why I'm saying all these 90s phrases. But you know, it's just, I think that is our initial like, I'm just going to put a bubble around me. Nobody can get in.
It's our human reaction.
This is my boundary. Right. And it's not necessarily a bad reaction to have. I mean, you can't let everything take root, hit you, affect you, hurt you, all of that. That's not a great place either. However, the idea of just like, just shake it off. Who cares? They're not the professional. That's not usually the way to go either, because then you become emotionally unavailable. You become a defensive person. Like, forget defensive creator. Like, you just, if you're living from a place of like, I'm on the defense all the time, that's not healthy. Maybe we should have
Right.
a psychiatrist on here, but
Right.
like that's not healthy either.
But you said thick skin. I like callous because I feel like that really sticks with you don't just have a bad day and shake it off when you become thick-skinned or callous. That translates into your whole life. And you start to take on this persona of a calloused, thick-skinned person, and you just become more and more hurt because you're coming in and hiding under something, hiding behind something. You're not doing creative from a place of peace or joy anymore.
Right.
You're being buried by the thing that you're supposed to have purpose and passion and joy in doing, and you just become buried by it. And I do think there's a societal issue with that in any industry, work becomes so I have to do it, and I just become callous, and now I'm depressed, and we go through that. And I was one of those people a long time ago, and finding a path down this way has been hard.
Yeah.
But you walk through things if you're open and you can hear critique. If you can take it in, you can build up your confidence. And I know I'm good at what I do. I know I'm called to do this. I don't have to build thick skin. I can build my confidence in a humble way.
Yeah. Let's kind of frame that around this right here. Boundaries versus filters. And the idea being that a boundary is a wall. It is a stop point, right? You cannot cross this boundary. This is a line that I have created that you may not come across. Now, we may put boundaries in our lives regarding people, places, things. There may be healthy boundaries that we put in place emotionally, physically, whatever that looks like. I think that's important. However, let's just relate it to business. I like the idea in this scenario of instead of a wall, I have a filter.
Yeah.
And
Ooh, that's
what
good.
that means is that I'm letting the good in, the things that need to come in, and that I need to, maybe I do need to think about it. Maybe I need to take that to heart.
Sometimes those things are good that we can work on ourselves.
And I think it's as simple as like praying that prayer, right? Like, God, help me to be able to filter the negative things. Help me to be able to filter that critique, and let me take in the things that I actually need to change, and let me not take in the things that could potentially change me. Like,
wow, that's good.
You're so surprised right now.
I'm feeling inspired.
Okay, good. I don't know. I just initially when I was thinking about this, it was like I was thinking of a coffee filter, right? Like, I'm gonna get the coffee at the end, and it's not gonna have all the grounds in it because that's disgusting. Like, it's that idea of I'm gonna have
drip coffee disgusting.
I'm gonna have something at the end that is worthwhile.
Yeah.
And so critique is not all bad.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that having that filter in place, I can filter this with the Holy Spirit, and we can decide what I'm taking away from this.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah. It's interesting because, I don't know, like, there's nothing in the Bible that's going like, Jesus had thick skin. There were people coming at him all the time. Like, he was constantly being critiqued and criticized and ridiculed and ultimately put to death because of it, right? So, like, but nothing in the Bible is going, Jesus just let those things bounce off of him. Like, that's not how he approached his critics at all. He felt it deeply. The Bible says he wept.
Absorbed it.
He took those things in, and what came out on the other side of it was our salvation, right? But like, maybe that is a just crazy biblical way to think about it. But if the one guiding us, if, creative saints, if the whole point of this is to be led by the Holy Spirit,
right?
Jesus was not going, I'm rubber, you're glue. Like,
right.
It wasn't. He was going, yep, go ahead, say what you need to say to me. I can handle it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to filter it, probably have a question for you on the other side of it. How many times in the Bible did Jesus respond to people's critique with a question that led them to the answers that they needed in their life?
I think a really important thing to interject there is the question was not from I know better than you or I am what it was something to get people to think, not from a defensive place.
He was calling them higher with the questions that he
asked.
asked.
So I wanted to make a point of Jesus asked questions. When you get that email and someone says, that track sounds stupid.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you go back and say, well, what makes
You're
you
stupid.
right.
Yeah.
So Jesus was always asking questions
Yeah.
to call people higher, to build them up, to get them to realize I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, to get them to realize how we should act to the world. Mm-hmm. That's a short way to say that.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think that's exactly it. We are so in the weeds on this, but ultimately what I was trying to get at by even bringing up Jesus. I mean, I always want to talk about these things, obviously. When we start talking about biblical principles, we're very, very passionate.
Yeah, there's been some conversations today.
But he also was speaking, teaching, guiding, correcting from compassion. Mm-hmm. He wasn't doing it from a place of offense. Mm-hmm. He wasn't doing it from defense. He wasn't like...
It was always from a place of love, and it was always to everybody. Yeah. It wasn't, oh, you're the people who listen. You guys show up every week. You are the best dressed. You ridiculed me last week and you still showed up. He was speaking the same level to everybody and calling everybody higher in those things.
And while I do believe that he took on critique, he took on people's criticism and all of those things, obviously Jesus is the ultimate example. He's always the one that we're like striving to be like. But if we're talking about a man that was fully man and fully God, right? And so the human aspect of him is what we're relating to right now. In that, as these people were critiquing him, as they were coming at him and going, hey, I don't like what you did in the temple there, and I don't like that you healed that person on the wrong day, and all of these things, he also wasn't being shaken by every voice, right? He wasn't like, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry that I healed her on Sunday. I'll make sure to do that on a different day. Obviously, he was God.
Right.
But I think it's important to note that he wasn't trying to take on their criticism in a way that made him change what he was doing. Now, if someone is criticizing you as a designer and you're going, hey, I hear you. Let me look at my process here and see if ultimately they're wrong. They're wrong. You've built a process now over 7 years. One critique doesn't get to determine how you run your process, I
completely agree with you. I think the point is, don't internalize it. Mm-hmm. Don't disassociate or detach from the situation. Mm-hmm. Don't get offended. Mm-hmm. Start discerning. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you're not right.
Right. That's so
sometimes
true.
You are not right.
Yes.
And if you can take it, mm-hmm. if you think that you have the right thing, show it to the client, to the customer, to whoever it is, a leadership, whatever it is. Take it back in a different way. Mm-hmm. Maybe your tone was wrong. Yeah. Maybe your color was wrong. Maybe your position was wrong. Maybe your wording was wrong. We can't communicate emotion through text messages or emails as well as we can in person. If something starts to get heightened and you are getting offended and they're getting offended, try and meet in person, a Zoom call, something. Yeah. That probably will solve your problem because human can be a huge problem. Yeah. But human can also help you discern. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. We're actually talking the same thing.
We're actually speaking the exact same language. Exactly.
We're just saying it two different ways.
Yeah. So again, we don't want to detach ourselves from critique, but if we use that Holy Spirit filter, we're able to discern, right? And I think initially that was just the long way of saying this end point of take their critique, filter it, discern it. Yeah. Use what you need to use, understand what those things are, look at your process, look at all the things. And if it's not relevant, just move on to the next client. If you have 3 clients in a row going, I don't like that, and it's the same thing every single time, well,
it might be your process.
You should probably look at what you're doing. I think that another thing to realize, though, is when people critique you, it's not actually always about you.
Ooh.
we're working with people. Like you said in a minute, like humans are humans. We're working with people. We're not working with robots. Even if you are working with robots half the day, like we're all surrounded by AI.
We walked by a Tesla store and saw that robot the other day, and I was like,
Oh,
nope.
yeah, our daughter was like, "Mommy, what's that robot in the window?" I was like, "Well, Will
Elon
Smith
Musk,
made a movie about
you're
that
making
20
some
years ago."
freaky stuff, dude.
Yeah.
So most people hear critique and they think, oh my God, that's about me.
Yeah. I'm the problem.
That's
That's
not
our
always
response.
the case.
Yeah, exactly.
I would dare to say most of the time, you're not what they're critiquing.
Right.
There's something. So their expectations, if you don't, and this is something we've done pretty well in the last couple of years of like really honing in on, give them expectations. You're going to get this.
Yes.
You sign on, you agree. Here are the terms.
Yeah.
Here is what it's going to cost. Here is when I want my money. Here is when you're going to get your files. Here is when you're going to get your concepts. Here is when you're going to pay me. Here's when you're going to get your drive. Here is when we're going to say this project is done.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Expectations have to be set or people will get offended.
And if you're early on in creating your business, you may not have all of that fleshed out. Like this is, I think, where that happens a lot is just early on where you're going, I'm so excited to have a project, and the client's going, I'm so excited somebody's going to do it for me.
Right.
But then what if your timelines aren't the same? If you haven't talked about all of those things, then somewhere along the line, there's going to be unmet expectations. And I think that is a huge one. Yeah.
Their preferences.
Yeah.
What they like, what style. Sometimes they say, I want this for my business. What's in their head is how their bathroom is decorated and what the trends for, because we haven't mentioned coffee this episode. Oh, we have. But this is, they're starting a coffee shop or a retail business, a boutique. This is how this should look.
Yeah.
If their expectation is a bathroom or a boutique they saw in South Beach, Florida, and they're living in Detroit, Michigan, you can't do the same. So their preference might be something that doesn't work. So if you're putting market research and data analysis in there, then
if you're in the mountains of Colorado and you live in New York City, like it just, there are certain things. Yeah, I think that's true. Because I see a lot of things, just Instagram, Pinterest, whatever. And I'm going like, oh my gosh, I love that. Oh my gosh, babe, look at that brand. How many things am I showing you? I'm like, can we please do this?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, look at this color palette. Look at whatever. And then
I think our house might look like It's a Small World ride at Disney if we
if we just went with every whim, everything I saw. Is that what you thought when I showed you those pillows yesterday?
No,
is that why you're saying that?
I actually really liked those. I just meant like
you
show me stuff
moment,
that's like
I just realized he was actually critiquing me.
This is farmhouse. This is like in Spain, mountainside. This is you show me different things all the time. Anyways, it was
all right. But I think that's a really good point. I think we really, again, expectations, preferences, their critique is not about you personally.
Right.
You know, it's about probably your process. They've probably seen your work. Chances are, if they hired you, they've seen what you are capable of. So something you did they liked or thought you could do.
People also come from past work with other professionals who didn't have that. So when you have expectations, when you get their preferences, when you ask those things beforehand, you're already giving them a better experience than they did last time. And the offense can be way lessened. We
had recently, there was someone who was unwilling to pay our rate because they had already been burned twice by a designer who they didn't have a relationship with this person. They just hired this person. And so because they had been burned, you know, we're going, oh, this is our rate.
It's not my fault.
Lump it or leave it. Like, it's not our fault. But then we were able to come to the table with some understanding, right? Of like, I understand why you don't see value in this.
Right.
Because you have been proven that there is no value in this.
Yeah.
Like, that is your information. All that we can do now is show you why.
Yeah.
We charge what we charge. We can do the work. It's going to be better. It's going to be different. Here's how.
I'm pretty sure that person came back and said, can I pay you more money? Because
because they did like it. But there's going to be some proving of yourself that you have to do. And we're not always willing to do that. I mean, there are some projects and some people that we are willing to do that with. I think to prove that we're worth it is often worth that. But,
Yeah.
if
it's a different area, we don't have updated like portfolio pieces.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll say, sure, I'll take that on. It's not an obscene like lowball offer.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you want $2,000 for this, and I only have an $1,800 budget. Like, okay.
At that point, I don't think sometimes people truly are trying to lowball you, and they're like just trying to get the best deal. But at that point, sometimes they really don't understand the value of what you're
absolutely.
bringing. And I think, again, going back to that filter idea,
right?
Of okay, when this stuff happens, I've been critiqued on expectations, preferences. They don't like it. They're hurt. All of those things. Now I'm going to go back to that filter. I'm going to go, okay, was it true? Was their critique, was it right?
Yeah.
Was it useful? Is it something that I can actually walk away with and go, oh, you know what? Maybe that is a good idea. Or, oh, maybe I should think about that. And
so you mean like when you get critique,
yeah,
go back and see your work and review it and see if you agree with them?
Well, I think that's a great idea. That's not necessarily what I was saying.
I do
but
that all the time.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think you go back and you go,
can you see it from their perspective?
Are they right now that they've brought this to my attention? And then how did they communicate it?
Tone.
You're going to be able to look at someone's heart posture then and go like, were they just saying this because they don't want to pay for it? Were they just saying this because they're mean, they're hurt, they're whatever? Like, so if they were doing this in a kind, loving, gentle, professional manner, as long as you can stay professional, I think throughout things, there's a lot of work that can be done.
Yeah.
Critique that can be worked through. If things get unprofessional, I'm honestly at the place in my life where I'm going, I don't have time for that.
When people get rude and unprofessional, the second you get unprofessional
or unkind, I'm done.
We're gonna have,
because now that's speaking to your character,
and
now that's just not someone that I want to work with.
Well, and those types of people are gonna be the ones who don't, once you finish a project and they've run you through the rigmarole of everything, they're not going to want to pay because they're like, oh, one more thing. Oh, one more. They're going to purposely keep you on the loop. So look out for that, because that is a big warning sign of don't get offended. Just know if they're starting to do that, you need to figure out how to wrap it up.
And let's say like,
not cut them short, sell them short, but wrap it up.
Wrap the project.
Don't let scope creep.
Yeah. I think that especially for young people that are starting out on a career path where this is going to be kind of a part of their sphere, right, of like what's happening in their life, whether it's critique, management, all those types of things, it's going to happen. Like, there are going to be times where you walk away and you're like, oh, that does not feel good at all. And I think that it's important to understand why, if that's something now that's like taken root, it's in you, it's in your heart, it's in your mind, it's something you're thinking about a lot. Oh, I can't believe they said this. And oh, I can't believe that happened. And, those, if it's something that's like weighing on you, then let's flesh it out. Like, why do you feel the way you do? Why did that specific person offend you?
Right.
Why was that specific person able to make you feel that way? Were they right? We talked about that a second ago. Let's see, like, was this right? And I just need to realize it.
Yeah.
Just because you don't like someone's critique doesn't mean that what they said wasn't true. And it doesn't mean that
you are going to not like some of the critique you get.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it wasn't warranted. They might have had every right to put you in your place on something.
You and I, as two people, probably critique each other in a way that we don't agree with, but it doesn't mean that the other person's wrong. So that's just
We've been in a season of marriage recently. This is so personal, but I do feel like we're kind of in this place now. We've been married for 9 years where we're able to easily apologize. And I think in the past, so we got married when we were like a little older. I mean, I was in my late 20s. You were in your early 30s. And like, we had lived a little life. We weren't old by any means, but like, we'd been through some things. And so we weren't 20 years old meeting and getting married. And I think that we came to the table with some like, I am who I am and you can't change me,
I think that's called baggage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true. But I think that we came to the table with this idea of like, all right, here's what you get. like it or leave it, and
We're
then
two very independent, strong-willed people.
we are. And so I think that we've spent some time in our marriage going like, oh, you didn't like that? Too bad. I don't think from a mean-hearted place or anything like that, but I think there have been times where we've maybe hurt each other's feelings or said things the wrong way.
It's never been malicious, like having a leg up on each other.
And we
it's
haven't
just
always been quick to apologize. We've just been quick to like get over things. I think that lately I have noticed. You ready to flesh this out on the podcast?
Let's flesh it out on the podcast. Welcome to therapy,
I've noticed
folks.
that we've been apologizing to each other more often, and even sometimes to the point where like the other one's going, "I don't understand why you're apologizing to me right now." But it's been really healthy, and I think that it has to do with where we're at in our life, working with other people as well.
It's been a very heavy season.
It has.
It's been a very heavy season.
I'm thankful that we've been able to come back to each other, like in the face of critique, maybe during the day or whatever, and then we're able to come to this moment and go like, "Hey, I'm sorry if I didn't meet your expectations in this."
Yeah.
And that's been kind of new for us. Not that it was bad before.
Right.
Like that level
I agree
of
with
honesty has been new, and it's happened really organically. So I think it's caught me off guard a couple times. And I don't think that I have been quick to apologize to you, like for whether it's been a bad attitude or not caring enough about certain things or whatever. And I don't know why I'm talking about this right now. Maybe there's a husband and wife listening. But yeah.
But there is a lot to that of just in your everyday relationships, like screw business, screw creatives, just in your everyday interactions with your spouse, your kids, your friends, your coworkers, whatever it is, it's being unoffendable is such a better place to live. So it's a healthier place.
This is another little like tangent, I guess, but the first time I ever had someone say this to me, it actually caught me off guard. I'd heard about like offense and all the things, right, from preachers and pastors and people that like talk about not being offended and all of that. But I was working through a family issue that I was having, and one of the kind of mothers in our church at the time was talking to me about it, and I was kind of letting her know some things that were happening, some things I was concerned about, and she just looked at me and she was like, "Whatever you decide to do in this situation, go in and be unoffendable." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, I'm probably going to leave this hurt. What are you even talking about?" She was like, "No, you get to choose. You get to choose. You don't get to go into a situation and say, or you don't have to go into a situation and leave offended. You get to choose." And it blew my mind because I was like, oh my God, you're right. Like, what I take to heart, what I let take root is actually my choice.
That's,
I can't control what they're going to say. I can't control if I like it. If it hurts me even.
Yeah.
And if I cry about it later, I get to choose what takes root.
Yeah.
And that's really where this whole thing stems from, because taking critique for a living, having something out there, this podcast is something that like we've had people try and critique it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It's caused us to grow and learn and all the things.
We've gone and looked at it, listened, and
we're critiquing it. Like, but I'm not going to get offended when someone comes to me and says, "Hey, you could do this better," because, well, they're right. There's a better way to do this. Yeah. But this is how we're doing it right now.
But we live in a place of we can always grow. We can always get better. So let's kind of start coming down to how do you frame this idea of taking critique in a healthy way? How are you unoffendable 24/7? And you'll have moments, but how do you frame...
Well, especially in business, right?
Right. So I'm more so meaning in business, and that will trickle into your personal life, but I think it's a healthy thing to review your personal life and see, do I get offended easy? Do I see something on social media and I'm like, oh my goodness, was that about me? That's probably unhealthy. Anyways, that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But critique is data. Critique is something for you to take to process,
inform
yourself, review yourself in your process, your work, your communication. It's not who you are. The critique comes and goes so fast. Don't internalize what one person said. If you're walking down the street and someone says, "Hey, stupid," is that going to ruin your life forever? It's kind of the same thing. It's that silly to internalize that so much. So the critique is probably going to help you get better. It's probably not about you. It's more about they didn't have enough coffee yesterday, or their kid was crazy, or their coworker ran over their foot. So there's probably something underlying that if you see it as an offense, they forgot about it 12 hours ago, and now you're living with that burden.
And if you're able to see it as data, right? Like then it doesn't become your identity.
Right.
There's just no reason to let those things take hold of you, You were talking earlier about a client recently that just hated everything that you did.
Yeah.
So how did that conversation go? How did your next conversation go? Like, were they like, I told you all the right things and you just didn't do any of it?
Well, no. So we ask a lot of questions, right? When we're doing a website or a branding or a album art, any of those things, we ask a lot of questions because we've learned if you give it to them and say, if you can pull all these things together, I can get what's in your brain and we can get to a final solution that you're thrilled with much quicker. So they hated the logos, and I was like, all right, this happens. Next step. I know the steps of the process when someone says that. I've been through it. The first couple times, man, it sucks so bad. It's like you feel like you are just absolutely dogged on and crapped on. It's terrible. But if you can say, all right, I don't want to feel that way anymore, build a better process. Yeah. Look at someone who's been doing it longer. Try and mimic their process and learn from there and trial and error some things.
Yeah.
So we just move on and I ask different questions.
Yeah.
What did you like? What didn't you like? Yeah. What are you absolutely
chances
against?
Are they don't even know. Like I say chances are based on history.
Yeah.
That someone can come to the table with what they think is a complete thought. And they're like, this is what I want, A, B, C, D. I have everything figured out for you to go design me a logo. Yeah. But then you get into it and you're like, you actually had no idea. But you actually didn't like those colors. You liked it on their logo. Yeah.
It's perspective in what they think they want. The same questions can be answered, and it just doesn't happen very often. Occasionally it happens where V1 concepts do not go well. And so we ask questions. Go back. Don't try and start from scratch. Go back and say, what did you like about this? What didn't you like about this? What are you absolutely against? What would you like to see from this moved forward? And then progress. Okay, what inspires you? That's the other thing. This project, I asked for 4 inspiration brands, like I always do, and they didn't send them. It just got lost in translation, and we needed to move quickly.
Yeah.
So that got lost, but they did everything else. And so that was a disconnect because in the process of getting everything, that was the one piece that got missed out on. So we agreed on that, but because we have a process, it was like, all right, I know what the next step is. I know how to keep walking through this. And the client was happy by the time we got off the phone, and now we have dates for doing other things.
Yeah.
So being offended will stifle doing everything.
Yeah.
And if your purpose is to be a creative, our purpose as humans, the enemy Satan will use a offense or making you dog on yourself or making you feel like someone else is dogging on you as a stumbling block, a trap.
Yeah.
To stop you from doing what your purpose is.
Yeah. I
feel like you have a run with this.
No, I was looking at scriptures in regards to offense, and Luke 17:1 says it is impossible that no offenses should come. So in this specific one, I'm going to be honest in saying that like to use it in this way is a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
In this specific scripture, offense is referring to like sin offenses, but just the idea right there. It is impossible that no offenses should come. That is the scripture. That is the statement. There is more to that. Please go look it up if you are looking to be theologically sound on this.
Luke
However,
17:1.
Luke 17:1.
Read the next verse.
But however, it's referring to sin traps.
Yeah.
Right? What you just said. It's referring to these things that would just like to trip us up, take us off course, all of those things. That is what, if you let someone's critique, someone's idea of what you should be doing, if you let it offend you, that is what it can become.
Yeah.
It becomes a stumbling block in your life. Now, I don't mean that you're going to fall into sin. I don't mean that you're going to start living a life that, isn't pleasing to God, but it is potential to take you off course from
100%.
the design that you were made for. I'm on a path. I have clear direction from God. I'm going for it. I get offended and I stop. It happens all the time. This isn't like just making this up. Or I get offended, so I change course. I get offended, so I pivot. Like, these are things that, this is why we have to filter it.
Right.
This is honestly more than like dealing with people, more than any of the other things. In order to stay in our God-given purpose, we have to be unoffendable for this reason right here.
Right.
We have to stay on course. I'm so passionate right now about seeing God's will accomplished through our lives, right?
Yeah.
We each have a purpose and a plan and a path that we have been set on.
Yep.
And the Bible is very clear about being, walking the path that you were set on, God lighting the path that he placed you on, all of those things. But if we let offense make us change direction.
Right.
Is God still with us? Yes. Can we still live a blessed life?
Right.
Yes. But was there another plan? Were there bigger purposes?
Right.
Were there other things on that path that you were supposed to come and encounter?
A road sign, don't let that deter you.
Yeah.
Because you saw a road sign that, maybe you needed to move it out of the way, or maybe you needed to pause for a second. If you come up against something, pause for a second. Don't react right away, because you might take a wrong turn that takes you down a longer path of God's timing.
Yep.
And if you, something that I've really implemented in my life in the last probably year is, I notice when I'm getting offended and I'm like, enemy, no, not happening. Not, what is it? Not today, Satan.
Not today, Satan.
But I'm like, enemy, you need to get out of here. Holy Spirit, let's go. We need to get through this.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get offended and stumbled on everything that I'm doing and all of my purpose because one person sent an email and I took it in the wrong tone.
Yeah.
They never had any intentions of that.
Yeah.
So just be mindful of that. Don't get cynical of yourself. Don't get cynical of other people. Read through, listen through.
Yeah.
Review.
Yeah. I also think that it's important in this place, so since we're being so spiritual about it right now, to forgive quickly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you let people walk all over you, and like, again, if someone's mean, unprofessional, all of those things, I'm out. Like, I don't want to work with that. But if an offense was taken the wrong way,
right,
on either end, I think it's important to in your heart go, okay, I'm moving on, I'm forgiving this person, whether they meant to, didn't mean to, and to do it quickly, because we need to move on. We're adults here.
Yep.
We cannot live in this place of being offended, of being hurt, of saying, well, I'm never going to work with so and so, and I'm never going to work on this type of project, and I'm never doing that again. Just forgive quickly. It's not weak to forgive. It's actually protection for what you're building and what's growing. I don't know. I just think, like, move on before these initial emotions have time to take root.
I think forgive so you don't internalize it and take it on and those things take root. But also, if someone is unprofessional or mean-spirited, that is probably a heart issue that you don't have to run back and say, oh, everything's okay now. You can forgive someone. That doesn't mean that you have to continue putting yourself in that situation.
Absolutely not.
Even if you have a contract. And if you have a contract and someone's rude and being offensive, sometimes you just gotta barrel through. Sometimes you have to get it done because, well, you're a professional and you signed up for this. That happens. Sometimes you say, we got to figure something out because here is the ultimatum.
Yep.
And the ultimatum has to be professional and it has to be from a place of love and forgiveness.
And you don't have to defend yourself every step of the way either. Like, you don't need to fight every time critique comes. We talked about this earlier. Maybe it's right. Use that filter, go through and say, hey, is there any validation to this?
Yeah.
Or is it valid? How did I want to say that? But it's just not necessary to go into fight mode every time. And I think that, if I'm being honest, I think you've been there in the past where anytime a critique came in, you were like, what do you know? It was easy to get to that place.
I can humbly say I've been there.
And I think it's easy for anybody to get there. I mean, if you're passionate about what you're doing, it doesn't feel good for someone to critique you. It doesn't feel good.
Sometimes you have a rough day and it just doesn't feel good. But remember when I said earlier, I finish something and I go back hours later, a day later, and I review it before I send it. Sometimes emails are like that. Sometimes critique needs to be sat on for a minute and not internalized. Sometimes you need to take that critique email and read it. And if it does offend you, you need to close your computer, close your phone. You need to put it down. You need to pray. You need to think about it. You need to breathe. Go get yourself a latte.
Yeah.
Sit on it. You can sit on something for a day. You don't have to react to critique. And I would suggest that you don't react so harshly or so quickly when you get a bit offended by critique.
Yeah.
It's not a healthy place.
No, it's not.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
So don't have thick skin.
So some takeaways from today. Sometimes, you guys, these last couple of episodes, we have been incredibly passionate about what we're talking about. This is, it's been really fun. I feel like we just can ramble, but it feels productive also.
I feel like we could keep talking about this for another hour.
Well, because one thing always leads into another.
Right.
And no, I think you're right. I think that thicker skin isn't necessarily a benefit. But being peaceful is.
Right.
And critique is inevitable. It is going to happen from your manager, from your client, from your boss, from your friend, from your spouse. You are going to be critiqued.
From the grocery store checkout clerk.
Yes. But what you do with it, what you let take root is optional. Being offended is optional. Be unoffendable.
Mic drop.
No, I just was thinking good leaders are unoffendable. Good pastors are unoffendable.
Good business owners.
It doesn't mean they don't take critique. It does not mean that they don't filter through when people have opinions. It doesn't mean that they don't have people over them, leading them, guiding them. But good leaders are unoffendable. I'm convinced because you can't live from a place of being offended all the time. Nobody wants to be around a person like that,
You do sometimes have to process through to let it go. Maybe write it down. Talk about it with someone.
Yeah.
But don't internalize it in any form because that becomes anger. That becomes hostility. That becomes...
How easy is it for you to create something when you're angry?
I might as well just not. It really, if I'm frustrated, creating is not happening. That whiteboard on Illustrator is going to stay white.
Yep.
I might put some text on there and hate it. That might be as far as I get. It doesn't happen when you're not in a healthy, happy, peaceful place. Creating is a lot harder.
And if you're in the beginning of this and you're just getting used to these interactions where there's a lot of feedback, I think it's really important to know that God sees what you're building.
Yeah.
All of the hours that you are putting in that no one knows about, all of the work that you're doing on yourself to be a better whatever the thing is that you're doing, all of the work that you're doing, all of the money that you're paying for the softwares that you use for client management and invoicing.
I'm offended by that.
God sees all of that. And like the obedience that comes in this season of building, those obedient moments to the Lord, just, I don't know, it just means so much. You grow so much in that season. Like, I feel like we're kind of on the other side of that right now. We're in a different place in our like faith or our walk. We're still building, we're still growing, we're still doing things, but it's from a different place now. And I just remember how that feels to be like, I feel like I'm on the brink of something. Like God's telling me things and I'm doing it. And like, it's so fun to do this hand in hand with God. But just staying unoffendable is not living passive. It's you're actually empowering yourself to be a better version of yourself. You're empowering yourself to be a better creative, to be a better boss, to be a better spouse.
Don't be passive, be purposeful.
Yeah. I don't believe in being passive. I think that is...
I don't think there's ever a situation where being passive is healthy or the way that God wants us to be. We weren't created to be passive. But be purposeful. And being purposeful in every way that you take critique, email you send out, conversation you have, having the right ears and the right eyes and the right mindset helps you to stay unoffendable and to be more purposeful. And I think that's so important, is just staying purposeful in everything that you're doing. Everything carries more weight. And when you're more purposeful, things line up with God's timing. Things line up with how people want to interact with you. Things line up with getting new clients, with getting more work, people complimenting your work in whatever industry you're in. If you're purposeful, there's a plan. There's a plan. And when you're purposeful to follow the plan, it works.
Okay, so if this resonated with you, we are clearly so passionate about this. We want to talk about this. This is kind of more, sometimes some aspects of this feel a little bit more on the ministry side of this podcast, where I feel like we're meant to like speak into people's lives. And so truly, if you are struggling right now with being offended, things aren't going the way you want them to, you're constantly being critiqued, reach out. Honestly, I would love to talk through this with someone because I'm super, super passionate about it. I don't know. I just wanted to put that out there, I guess. Like, reach out to us because we've been there. We know what it feels like. We know what it feels like in our personal life. We know what it feels like in business and ministry and all the things, especially if you work with other people. It's an easy trap to fall into.
This would be a great segue into...
I was wondering if you were going to do this today.
I wasn't planning on it because we don't have it fully, like, everything ready to launch. But if you listen to the podcast and you want to talk about being unoffendable or business, creativity, faith, any intersection of those things, we love doing that. We're starting something called the Creative Saints Sessions. 30 minutes, free talk.
Once a week,
one slot is open. And
sometimes it might just be Josh. Sometimes it might be both of us. And
we want to sit and we want to take 30 minutes of undivided attention. We've actually blocked off when these get scheduled an hour before and an hour after, so we can pray before we go. We can get on, we can talk, and hopefully God is able to, not able to, but hopefully there is some something that you need to, if you schedule that, you want to talk about something that maybe we can help to work through something, or just be a sounding board for something that you're trying to figure out, work, go on. So we'll be posting that soon, but this would be a great place to discuss being unoffendable.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm actually ready when we tease this to go ahead and start getting that up.
Let's go.
All right. So if you're hearing this now, it's probably live, and you can go find that and schedule some time to talk to us in real life.
Real life Zoom call.
It's my favorite thing anyways.
All
I
right.
won't talk the whole time, I promise. Next week, we've got a really exciting one.
Ooh. Are you going to tease the title?
Go for it.
Imposter syndrome.
I think this is going to be fun. I kind of want to interview you on this and see. I think this is something that you'll be really good to speak into. So, and I think it's something that a lot of people struggle with. So hey, we've never really teased an episode before.
We haven't.
And unless God changes it, then that's what we're doing.
Let's do it. Episode 25. Exciting things coming.
Yeah, you keep saying that, don't you?
Have a great week, guys.
Bye.